Okay, the next person we'd like to honor is celebrating 30 years of recovery. A gentleman that needs no real introduction. I think just about everybody in this room knows this man. Martin Waukazoo, why don't you come on up, 30 years. Martin Waukazoo.
First, I'd like to acknowledge our spiritual leader, Richard Booskamp. Richard? It's an honor to have you here with us, Richard, today. You know, about 30 years ago, I went into the treatment program and finished up right next door at the old one. Less than a year later, I got a job at the Native American Health Center and went down to the Department of Public Health and tried to articulate the needs of the American Indian community. Now, I don't know if I did a good job or a bad job, but I do know that a man by the name of Robert Prentice, who at that time had a high level position with the Department of Public Health, said, "No problem." I spoke with less than a year's sobriety, and I always remember this. He came up after that and he encouraged me. Gave me a pat on the back and said, those are good words, strong words, and you got an advocate within the Department of Health here. And I just want to say I've never forgotten that, Robert, Bob. You know, just a small...
I was right. You have been enforced.
And it's good to have him here. You know, I also miss my father and my mother who are not here, who passed away in the last 30 years. And I was thinking about my father. You know, he started in his sobriety, started with AA meetings back in the early 60s. And the reason why he went into recovery and quit drinking was so that he could coach me when I was in Little League. They had a rule. You couldn't coach if you were drinking. So he gave up alcohol so that his son could play ball. And I just, you know, that was something that, you know, I'm so grateful and thankful for. Because he was a good role model for me as I grew up. The Friendship House has given me many things over the years, but the most important thing that the Friendship House has given me, besides the sobriety, is my wife, Helen. And I'm so grateful for it. With Helen, I not only got a wife and a partner and a friend, but I also got a family. And I'm just so grateful for our children, Dwayne and Crystal and Karen, for all that they've given us over the years. You know, that's what it's about. And that's what you're creating here, is family. I'll never forget my family at the Friendship House, going back to the early 80s. When I came into the program, I had no intention of staying sober for more than 90 days. I'll guarantee you that. I was looking for that first 30-day pass. And I had a plan in my mind what I was going to do that weekend. And it all revolved around alcohol. Fortunately, I didn't do that. You know, they tell you one day at a time. And they're right. One day at a time. So for 30 years, it's been one day at a time. Today I can go home and see my great-granddaughter, my great-grandson. 4 generations. Every day, every morning, and every evening. When I was going through the program, one of the key parts of my recovery, and I was very fortunate to have this, and it was a traditional leader, a traditional advisor by the name of Virgil Standing Elk. When I was going through the program, we would sit down and we would visit, and I would talk with him about the confusion and the conflicts and things that were going through my mind during your initial parts of your recovery. And I was very fortunate to have Richard, or not Richard, but Virgil. Virgil is Richard's uncle. When I took the job at the health center, one of the things that I wanted to do, and I talked with Helen about this many years ago, is, you know, what this community needs is to get back in contact with the traditional spirituality. And we're very fortunate in this community and blessed to have this community to have Richard Mooskamp amongst us and coming up into our community and providing the healing and the spiritual direction and advice. So you residents who are new to the program, know that someone is taking care of you. For those of us that have 30 years or 20 years or 10 years or 5 years, our responsibility and our obligation is to take care of those behind us. Those of you who are in the first day of recovery, the first week of recovery, the first month of recovery, the first year of recovery. If you're Cheyenne, Lakota, Yurok, Pomo, Pima, Navajo, whatever tribe you come from, you have a responsibility to those new residents and new clients coming into the program. You are their role models, so take it seriously. We are losing too many of our people to alcohol and drugs. That has to end, and that ends with each and every one of you. Take it upon yourself to turn to your Indian people and lift them up, reach out, encourage them, support them. Even if you have 1 week of sobriety, you have 1 week of sobriety behind you. If that new resident is walking through that door, shake his hand, shake her hand, pat her on the back, encourage her, and give her direction. That is a responsibility that each and every one of you have. When you finish the program after 30, 60, 90 days, it's your responsibility and your obligation to go back to your community, go back to your reservation, rancheria, and pound on the doors at that tribal council, or those healthcare workers, and let them know that there is a need in this community for treatment. Stand up for the community, stand up for your family here at the Friendship House. I've been very fortunate and blessed at the last 30 years to witness miracles after miracles. I was very pleased when Helen in Orlando told me about the connection with the Navajo reservation. When we have 10 or 15 Navajo people now amongst us, that only makes us better. That only makes us better, it makes us stronger. When we make contacts with the California tribes, the Pomo, the Yurok, and when those tribes come into our program, it only makes us stronger. We are a good community. We are a healthy community. We are walking that good road, that good red road. But knowing that it's a very narrow road. It's a very rough road. And you have to be determined to stay on that path. As you make this journey through this life, you will understand better. It gets clearer as you get more years of sobriety and more years of being in contact spiritually behind you. That gives you strength, but it also gives you responsibility. So if you're in this program the first week, know that someone is here watching you and wants to help you. We are getting stronger as an American Indian community. We are seeing families coming back together. In 1980, when I came into the program, there were 6 or 7 American Indian bars in East Oakland, 4 or 5 of them in San Francisco. Today, there are none. "30 years of sobriety." You know, I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but I wouldn't give it away for any material things. But that gift of sobriety allowed me to see my great-grandchildren, allowed me to see my grandchildren grow up. It allowed to see my children successful without alcohol or drugs. You know, I'm so grateful to the Friendship House and the gifts that the place has given to me over the years. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a part of something that is good and be a part of the Native American Health Center. Because we do things in a good way. We are about healing people. And that healing begins with ourselves. And then we take it one step further and help our fellow employees. Yes, we get angry and upset and pissed off and frustrated at sometimes, but those are the challenges that the Creator puts in front of us. With the Friendship House and with the counselors, they give you the tools, the weapons to combat that. So be grateful for being in the right place today. A place of healing, a place of sobriety. You have clarity in your vision. You can stand up and say, yes, I am a Lakota. Yes, I am Yurok, Pomo, Navajo, or whatever tribe you are. Be proud of that. I'm closer to the end of my journey on this earth than I am to the beginning. So one day I woke up and I was 60 years old. I don't know how it snuck up on me, where it came from. I was sitting with Richard, and we were at a community meeting, and I think Richard asked, he says, where are all the elders? We were looking for the elders. And Richard said, I think that's us. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank my family for all the support and encouragement over the years. The drum, the residents, most importantly, because you give me strength. When I see a new resident come in the program and I get to know you a little bit, you give me strength and keep moving on, keep moving forward. So with that, I just want to say thank you to everyone, and I'm proud to be a part of the Friendship House and proud to be an alumni. 30 years of sobriety. Well, half of you probably weren't even born 30 years ago. But I've been very blessed in my life, and that sobriety, it does work. But I just ask that one thing of you, each and every one of you, the residents, that one thing. When that new person walks through that gate and walks into the program, run to that person, put out your hand, encourage that person, give them some guidance, because you're the role model. I remember when I started the program, my first day, and somebody had 30 days of sobriety, man, that was like a million years away. Or that person had 2 months of sobriety, or 3 months, or 6 months. So know that you have that. And you have that power, and you have that gift that the Creator give you. And use it in a good way. Use it in a good way. And you can begin today by walking up to that resident that's just starting the journey. Do we have anybody here that's been here for 1 week? Right there. Stay strong. Know that your family is here. When you get down, get angry, get frustrated, seek out a counselor. Be in prayer. Be patient. Be patient. I'm the most impatient person there is, and Helen can testify to that. But that's what our children, and our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren has taught us, to be patient. My great-grandson Luke wakes up in the morning, first thing, he hollers, "Grandma, Grandma." The second thing is, pancakes. Don't work for me. I have to go through my great-grandson, Luke, order some eggs and bacon. But he also is very impatient. He will, when his diapers change, and he'll let you know. Just by the look or also by the odor. Because I want my diapers changed now. But here I am, 60 years old, and I'll sit down, as I did with my granddaughter here, sit down and watch an hour of SpongeBob. And he would leave, and I'll still be watching SpongeBob. He'd take off and look for Grandma, and I'm still watching SpongeBob. And the new one, SpongeBob Drain. See, I know these. But I want to thank you all, thank my family, and that's all of you. And I appreciate the acknowledgement. 30 years of sobriety is no different than one day of sobriety. We're all together, we're all family, and we get strength from each other. So I'll turn that over to my wife, Helen.
Wow. You did great. I like that. We want to present your gift for 30 years. Appreciate the certificate. And also, I'm going to ask our children and grandchildren to stand up, please. Where's Dwayne?
He just left. Just went back to
Oh,
work.
okay. One over there. And my adopted children. I just want to say that we are, as a mother and grandmother here, and a wife, I just want to say that we're very, very proud of Marty for his accomplishments. And certainly, he's done great things. All of you know that. I don't think I need to get into that. But we also have a gift from the family.
Hi, Grandpa. So this is a gift. It says, Martin Waukazoo, congratulations, 30 years of sobriety, and with love from your family. We also have Friendship House because that's your family too. So, yeah. While he was talking, I was thinking of how he was saying that he's able to see his grandchildren. I'm his grandchild, and I have two children who are his great-grandchildren, and I kind of got a scary thought in thinking if he would have never walked through those doors 30 years ago, how different my life would be today. And that's 7 years before he even knew I was going to be coming. And so, and I was thinking how, because my grandpa walked through those doors 30 years ago, I had a better life than my mom does. And looking at my which is a child, and looking at my kids, they have a better life than I did. And it continues the cycle, and not to put any pressure on you guys, but the choice to come in here, when you guys made that choice, you don't realize it, but it is affecting generations to come. You're starting to break the cycle, and your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, whether you're expecting them yet or not, you're affecting them with the choices you make today. So, I'm proud of you, Grandpa, and congratulations.
Thank you again very much, and keep up the good work, all of you. And I think Marty had said some wonderful, outstanding things about taking that responsibility of what you need to do in life. And we're looking at for good leadership. That's kind of something I look at when we're talking about the generation coming up. You can't be a good leader unless you have a healed life. I mean, you don't want to be dishonest or anything like that. That's what's happening all over our world, and we don't want that kind of leadership here. And so I stress that a lot as part of your responsibility is looking at what are you going to do to help us out. And we've been doing this for 30, 40 years now, and someone else needs to do that soon. Okay? Thank you.
Okay.